Yo, what's up, Willie P? I'm responding to your video, Tyler Perry, give black men a movie. This whole topic of black men in the media, especially in movies, man, this is one of those conversations that I have every holiday season when I meet up with all my friends from, that I went to school with. And we're all chilling and, yeah, let's watch a movie, let's rent a movie, and the whole idea comes up, what we want to watch. And of course, the women want to watch whatever new black movies out or rent some black movie. And I remember one year we were like, no, we don't want to do that because we don't like the way we're portrayed. And this is a couple of years ago. So, your video kind of reminded me of all those conversations. But anyways, I want to add that there has been some sort of an attempt to give black men a movie, quote unquote. If you can recall, there was the Best Man with Taye Diggs, Morris Chestnut, came out. I was still in high school when this came out. The Brothers, that was the Morris Chestnut, Bill Bellamy, Shamar Moore, D.L. Hughley, and then there was The Wood, which is more of a comedy, but it featured black men. And even the movie you mentioned, and that movie was The Family That Prays, where Tyler Perry and that other construction worker dude. So there has been an attempt to feature black men in a significant role and not just have them in the movie as the bad guy. But the problem with even those movies is it's fake, right? They want to act like they're, talking about black men, but it still plays into what black women want to hear, because the number one downfall with those men, right? The whole movie is about them trying to commit, right? Them trying to be committed to one girl and, having to give up all this other pussy that they're getting on the side, and they all tend to be professional or they're athletes and they're doing well, and they're like, man, I don't need to get married to this chick, I'm giving up so much on the side, right? So the whole movie is pretty much based off of that, right? So I say it's pseudo because it still puts us in that box. It's still in the end, you don't feel better about watching it. It's just, okay, they just played up the whole stereotype of black men having commitment issues, right? Which is a negative to me. So even then, I was never happy with those movies, right? The only movies that I'm somewhat happy with, where I feel like, most black men will be like, I'm okay with this, are two movies. The first movie is The Family That Prays that I mentioned before. I know the black guy, the construction worker dude, he wasn't the main focus, but he was, I would say a significant character. And just seeing his struggle, that wasn't about, sex and commitment. He was trying to really get his business together, right? Because he felt like, he knew his stuff and he wanted to start his own business. So that was his struggle, and I think a lot of black men can identify with that, as opposed to, man, I got to stay committed to my wife or my girlfriend. Second one is Daddy's Little Girls with Idris Elba. That one is fairly new. I want to say it was a Tyler Perry movie. I'm pretty sure it was, but don't quote me on that. But I thought it was cool because, once again, his issue wasn't about commitment or sex. Right, it was about him trying to get his life together and take care of his kids, right? So there's a lot of dramatized scenes in that movie, right? I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, it was cool because you finally saw a black dude who wasn't about his issue didn't revolve around his penis. And there's another one. This one Tyler Perry didn't produce, but T.D. Jakes did, and I forgot the name of it, but it's Morris Chestnut and Taraji P. Henderson. I forgot her last name. It's relatively new, but it's just about them. I guess he's an ex-baseball player or something. I forgot what he was, and he got hurt, and she was doing well, and this, that, and the third. But it was a good movie, simply because the problem with Morris Chestnut in the movie wasn't on some I'm having commitment issues, I don't know how to commit. Right? It was about him dealing with a problem outside of that. So as a black dude, you can connect with his character, right? And that's what we like to see. But for the most part, even with that, you have to even be careful because a lot of the times when you watch these movies, whenever the dude is educated, right, he's always the bad guy. It's always the educated professional black dude who is the bad guy. For instance, Blair Underwood, right? Blair Underwood does a lot of independent black films or films that never make it to the big screen or whatnot, and he plays the same character, like in Something New, right? If you guys remember his character, he literally plays that role in every movie. The sophisticated, educated black dude who's just a jerk, who's a prick, who's a cheater, he's controlling, he's abusive. He loves playing that character, and unfortunately that's what you see. Right now, granted, yes, you do see black men who are educated who can also be the good guy, but for the most part, even when they do present the quote-unquote good black guy, it's weird how they do it. For instance, okay, Tyler Perry's first mainstream movie, excuse me, because he had a lot of those plays that were out on DVD for a while. That's when I first saw him. It wasn't until recently that he started doing, the big time movies. And I believe it was Diary of a Tired Black Woman. And her husband, the lawyer dude, educated, was a prick, left her. But then it was Shemar Moore who came to the rescue. And if you really watched that movie, he was really nothing more than a glorified thug. That character wasn't realistic. If this was in real life, he wouldn't necessarily be that way. Right, so even then I had a problem with it, not because it was Shemar Moore and he's light skinned and whatnot. It was cool to still see the good guy being black, but even how it was presented, once again, it was overly done to the sense that it's like, is that real? Right, it just once again fed into this whole idea of black women going off and getting the thug type dude and he'll hold you down and he'll love you, and the women are like, yeah, we'll see this, and they go out, and in real life it doesn't go down like that, right? And because in the movie, even that brother had a stable job. That's the key thing. He had a stable job. There was some sort of stability with that brother, but in real life, it doesn't really translate that way. So once again, it was a miss. It tried to come off as this, Bible for black women to follow in their story of triumph, but even then, it didn't really translate, right? And once again, it was a slap in the face for brothers who aren't like that. Right, and the common denominator for a lot of these movies is that they love to take shots at educated black men and act like because we have money and because we have status, we automatically have some sort of commitment issue, which is not true whatsoever. So at the end of the day, to bring things to a close, there has been black movies with black men heavily featured, but at the end of the day, their downfall is that, it's also about the penis, and that plays into the insecurities that black women have, especially when black men are educated and they have options. But they did have a couple of movies where black men were portrayed positively. Like I said before, the movie with Morris Chestnut and Taraji P., Idris Elba and Daddy's Little Girls, and the construction dude on The Family That Prays, and that's the one with Sanaa Lathan on it. But in terms of what I would like to see and what needs to happen, we need to see a major motion picture with a dude who's educated or relatively educated, who has this stuff together, right? But his problem with maybe the black community and black women has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with his penis, has nothing to do with commitment, has nothing to do with him taking care of his children, nothing that's going to secretly play into the hands of black women and, support or exploit their feelings. That's what we want to see, and that's what we're waiting for. And I think you made a great analogy, right? It's like, we want to see Diary of a Tired Black Man, but we want to see somebody turn that into some sort of story or drama, right? And not necessarily a documentary. That's what we want to see. Can it happen? I think it will. I think black women, first and foremost, will get more out of a movie like that, right? Because for black men, if you think about it, all it's going to really do is just highlight what we've been saying for how many years now? That's all it's going to do. So we're going to say, finally, that's all we're going to do. But for black women, I think they're really going to have to sit down and think, wait a minute, what's going on? Let's take a step back and really evaluate what's going on. So in a nutshell, if I was a Tyler Perry or some other person, I would really look into it, because I think people that would make more money showing black men as a true hero, as opposed to showing black men as a true villain. Now we all know that, right? If you put a black guy, in the bad guy role, people will like it, or black women will like it. But I think there's more money if they try to present their own men as the hero. That's just my take on it. You guys take it easy. God bless.